Good Yontif. I'm Matt Perlman. This is Steve Westridge, Dan and Kate's dear friends, and your tour guides tonight through the majestic journey that is Dan and Kate's love.
I think everybody here knows that Dan and Kate got married about a year ago in a beautiful, beautiful ceremony on Fire Island.
It's been a long, winding road to get here. I mean, Jesus, it took Dan a long time to propose. Of course, he realized in about Q3 last year that there are tax advantages to getting married, so he sprinted, put together a shotgun wedding in Fire Island that none of us were invited to. Smart.
I always knew I'd be speaking at Dan's second wedding. I just didn't think it would be the same woman.
To those of you who don't know me, I am Adam Federer.
Oh my goodness, look at my baby girl.
And to what I imagine is not a surprise, I'm neither a man of the cloth, nor a rabbinical scholar, nor even a fellow that's generally revered by anyone.
Dan can be a bit unpredictable.
For example, in high school, when our French teacher, out of the goodness of her heart, tried to make extra time for Dan to make up for some work he had missed, he curtly replied, "I don't know what you think this is, Madame Michelle. I don't just have French all day."
He's a man that will respond to a mildly funny text with an absurd amount of ha-ha-has. And in person, when you lay a zinger on, he'll just tilt his head back like this.
I'm here speaking before you as a dear, dear friend of Kate's and a begrudging acquaintance of Dan's.
As most of the women here know, Missouri in 2005 was the birthplace of the Dan Horan hip swivel makeout. A move so irresistible that Jordan Zerilli is only here tonight as a last-ditch effort to win Horan back and reclaim what they once had.
Kate does the only thing possible, and she does it well, to keep Dan's attention. She pretends to absolutely hate him. It's true. If she acted like she was even remotely interested in Dan, there is no way that it would work. But they have a perfect system. She hates him, and he's never been more in love.
We are gathered here today for the joyous union of two Yankees in a holy matrimony.
Regardless of the destination, Horan is always prepared with industrial-sized SPF 100. I once witnessed him reapplying sunscreen at an outdoor club in Stockholm. It was 2 o'clock in the morning.
But there are also the coming from behind moments.
But I told them they're my least favorite people this weekend because I don't like doing this.
He's full of shit.
Like when in middle of a Latin final exam, the total silence was broken by a fart ripped by Dan that had no business taking place anywhere outside of one's own home.
Horan's a refined international traveler. He has literally deuced his pants numerous times on at least 2 continents. Can you really live life like a local without experiencing their healthcare system?
2014, Dan, Steve, and I take a trip to Asia. While staying in a hostel in Vietnam, Dan literally shits himself. He's rushed to the hospital and nearly dies of dehydration.
Throughout our 3+ decades of friendship, we can say without a doubt that some of our most memorable life experiences, as well as near-death moments, happened because of our proximity to Daniel Joseph Horan IV.
And during Dan's trials and tribulations, during the early years in New York and in the hospitals of Vietnam, Dan learned valuable life lessons about grit, determination, and perseverance through life's up and downs. All of which turned Dan from a cocky kid into a man that his friends love, respect, and rely on.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Welcome to Savannah and the renewal of vows between Daniel and Caitlin. As most or all of you are aware, Dan and Kate are born and bred New Yorkers, and Dan's parents don't live here anymore. Literally, no one lives here. Which begs the question as to why in God's name are we in the fine, fine state of Georgia. Nevertheless, here we are. You know, what's funny is that Haran always used to belabor to whoever would listen to him in college that you would have to be absolutely insane to get married before the age of 40. However, Haran had not anticipated encountering the force of nature, formerly known as Night Hawk, over 7 years ago.
All of us who saw Kate for the first time at Federer's birthday party in Fire Island back in 2014 saw her for exactly who she was. A beautiful, smart, fun minx with a great head on her shoulders.
For the 15 years that we've known Caitlin, she's always been fiercely loyal and protective to those she loves. And I don't use the word fierce lightly. She will come for you.
On more than one occasion, I remember her sticking a finger in the guy's face with an eyebrow raised and telling him, or enforcing him, he better get me home safe that night.
A few years back, Caitlin started to ask for my input on that front. And Haran, admittedly, he was not my first choice. No, he was not. For that matter, he was not my second choice either.
Now, at first blush, you might not think that this was a match made in heaven. For starters, when Dan first met Kate, she wasn't in a committed relationship. Strike one. Strike one.
Over the course of the evening, they each separately approached me and asked me about the other. I responded to Dan, Kate is truly incredible. One would be lucky to have her. I responded to Kate, Dan, really? And so the night unfolded.
Despite having a great time with her at the party the night before, he was hesitant to set up a first date. He convinced himself that something had to be wrong with her. There was no way that after 5 years going to the same party in Fire Island, with all the epic debauchery, the late night D-floor laps at McGuire's, that he had miraculously found this diamond in the rough.
A lot has been said about how people had their doubts about Dan's ability to settle down. And they were surprised that Dan ended up being Kate's choice of all the boys that Adam Federer introduced her to over the years. The thing is though, and I hate to fan his ego, but I was really never that concerned by Dan.
Traditionally, love stories are depicted as two people who belong together but are blocked by an obstacle keeping them apart. But in real life, love stories are much, much more complex.
From the moment I saw Dan and Kate meet on Fire Island, I could just tell right away that it was going to be something.
His singular greatest achievement in his life was to convince this beautiful girl that's next to him to be his life partner.
But the moment Kate entered the picture, we started to see Dan smile more. Maybe it was the veneers. No, it was definitely Kate.
But Kate being as great as Kate is, she made Dan see the light, and how could he not? I mean, she's very charming, she's witty, and she's beautiful.
If you look around this room, and you've heard it tonight, 15 years, 10 years, 20 years, Caitlin keeps people forever, and she doesn't let them go. And she'll do the same for you.
People want love, but after they get it, all too often they become scared or bored or uncertain or even resentful. And so in life, the real challenge, the real test for two lovers or partners is not external. The battle is to be fought within. Rather, love is something about being with another person, some connection with them, that inspires you to want to be better, that emboldens you to look at yourself in the mirror clearly, soberly, flaws and all, and be willing to change.
But as we got older, we got wiser, and Dan came into the picture, things began to change. Our 5 a.m. sprints home became 5 p.m. walks around town. And instead of being the last ones at the bar, we lingered at each other's houses. And those fundamental shifts in our lives and friendship were also a sign of Caitlin having found her true partner in Dan.
Do you earnestly promise to always put your leftover food in the fridge, even if only a single bite is left, and let it sit there for all of time until horrendous mold and decay sets in?
I do.
Do you reaffirm your undying passion for confusing Kate with Siri and incessantly asking her, what time is it, what's the weather, and will you please set an alarm?
I do.
Do you redeclare your everlasting fervor for fact-checking Dan's storytelling in real time and squashing any hopes and dreams he has of embellishing for effect?
Yes.
Do you promise to persistently buzz the doorbell to your home, even though there are keys in your pocket, and unnecessarily force Kate to greet you?
That's my favorite, yes. Yes, yeah, yeah.
Everyone wants to start drinking, hit the dance floor, and play that funky music, white boy. Daniel, you may finally kiss Kate. Mazel tov!
It's hard to put into words how much tonight means to our family. When Jay was injured a few years ago, it was not a given that he would be here tonight to walk out with Kate for the father-daughter dance later tonight. And when Dad had a bad stroke 2 years ago, we weren't sure if he would be here to celebrate with us tonight. And so we feel so unbelievably fortunate.
I love the two of you. You're a great couple. We think the world of the two of you.
I absolutely love Beth and Jay, but when I first met the Mitchells, I wasn't sure I would ever be fully welcomed into their family.
So they decided to live with us for 11 months. And actually that gave us a chance to see how they were as a couple, and we really liked what we saw.
There was one moment this past April in Florida that I'll never forget. I was walking down the hallway at the Mitchell's house, and Jay stopped me. And he said, you know, Dan, I've been thinking, you and I, we don't hug enough. And he proceeded to wrap me in a gigantic bear hug. Naturally, I walked back to our room and told Kate that it was time to leave. And we were on a flight to New York the next day. But in all seriousness, being welcomed in by the Mitchells has been one of the best experiences of my life. That, of course, brings me to Kate. How good does she look tonight? Come on. Woo! I knew that I wanted to marry Kate from the moment that I met her. This past year being married to Kate has been the best year of my life. I ask her advice for everything, and as almost everyone has noted, I would be completely lost without her. I love you, and I'm ready for the next 100 years.
If I can make it there, I'm gonna make it anywhere. It's up to you, New